This is so dope. I can use a filter on Instagram when I'm live. What? I'm here for it. That's what's up. Okay. All right. Today's topic. Let's get into it. Okay. I love that I can use a filter over here. No way. That is so dope. Uh, as you want to be treated, and yet you still okay. I love it. Okay, so welcome to day 5. I was consistent. I'm so excited that I have completed the task that I wanted to complete for you and giving you this series called cliches that are holding us back in relationships. Like the cliches that I hear all the time around social media that people say that I hate, that I loathe, because I'm like, people say things and they're not really defined, and they don't help people understand what they are trying to say, right? So the golden rule, the golden cliche, which I believe comes from scripture, is when everybody's like, treat others as you want to be treated, girl. Okay. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And yet you still don't have a man. And that's frustrating you. Okay. And so I'm going to tell you what you're doing. Okay. What you're doing comes from what you believe about your singleness, about relationships, about life. Okay. Is that if you treat this man a certain way, he will then begin to treat you the way you want to be treated. You believe that that is the formula. But let me ask you this: how well is that working out for you? Okay. And right here on my nose, right here, I definitely was moving this bookshelf and one of the top books fell on my face yesterday. And now I have a nice little bruise on my nose. Awesome. Thought I broke my nose. I was holding my face for like 10 minutes, like, not my face, Lord, not my face. Okay. That is a sidebar. Okay. Side note, because back to the conversation. How well is that working out for you, right? You are treating him as you want to be treated, thinking that is going to work. And yet, here we are, right? It's because you believe that, again, that if I do this, then others, and that's, here's the thing. This is the problem with a lot of religion as it has to do with like being a Christian, because I'm a faith-based woman. I grew up in the church and everything, but a lot of things were said, but not defined or broken down. And so a lot of things were implied. And so a lot of us are so spiritual about things that we take out the onus of ourself and the work that we actually have to do to get the things that we say that we want, right? So you actually being a good person, loving thy neighbor as thyself, has nothing to do with you changing other people on site. You are not God. You cannot do that. And you are taking out free will of other people. So if you want a man to be loyal to you, to love you the way you want to be loved, that actually has to already be in his character. You can't just create this man out of thin air because you are being a good woman and loyal to him. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Look at your track record. Someone said, definitely hasn't been working for me. I know. That's why I'm here. This is why I do the things that I do and say the things that I say, because I'm here to hold you accountable to the things that you say that you want. And you want to be in a loving, fruitful, flourishing, fulfilling relationship. And I'm here to tell you the things that you are doing wrong. And also saying, if you need help and don't know where to start with me. Because as you know, I'm an NLP certified life coach, and I went on my own journey. And in 2017 was when I closed the door on this dysfunction and relationships and this belief that being single is a punishment. It all starts with your thoughts, what you believe about yourself, okay? All right, let me get myself back on track. Let me look at my notes. Okay. All right. So again, what you believe is that you can change him by treating him a certain way. You can morph him into, transform him into, as if this is Transformers, into the man that you want. Okay? You treating others in a good way is for you and your character, for you to actually just be a good person, regardless of what's going on around you. It is not to get people to make them be who you want them to be, because life is still will of choice. We still all have free will. And so order matters. I said this yesterday, meaning it's not the act of him, like it, you can't just, it's not the act of you treating him a certain way that makes him a good person. He already has to have good character. Is he a great communicator and willing to get better? Has he worked on himself and wants to continue? Does he actually want to be married? Does he actually want to have a relationship? Thank you, Violet. Violet said that's a good breakdown. You know, I try. I've been here thinking about you. And I'd be like, how can I break this down? And I'm going to use the word layman's terms, but it's not to say anybody's stupid, but basically break it down to the level where you can understand it at. Okay. And so you forcing somebody to be who you want them to be off of the principle of treat others how you want to be treated is not going to work. And I really wish that you would stop seeing your singleness as like a punishment and like this waiting period. And the goal in life is this. And once I get this marriage and start having kids and the white picket fence, I am now successful. But because I am single and the situationship isn't working out, I'm a failure. I really wish you would stop thinking those things, because it's not true. Who taught you that? Who taught you that? Just because he hasn't found you yet doesn't mean you aren't a good woman. And so you're constantly being loyal to him. Good for you. But you are not loyal to yourself. What is that costing you? That's why it's wrong to think this way, because it is costing you what? Insert. I'm waiting for you. Joy, peace, the way you see yourself. The more you allow someone to treat you disrespectfully, in a disrespectful manner, the more you are chipping away at your confidence. That's why you don't have confidence in being single and being who you are. And you don't have confidence because you don't know who you are. You don't know how to get what you want. You don't have the audacity to believe that you can get what you want in a relationship, nor the patience to wait for it. Because by now you're 35, 38, 42, 45, and you're like, I just have to get in this relationship so people can stop asking me where my man at. Because you've bought into the lie that your singleness makes you a failure. And so logically, you can be with a man, right, who's treating you like crap, not the way you want to be treated, and no, this is wrong. But then over here, because all of the feelings that you put on it, you don't leave. So there's a gap here. And I'm trying to be the one that helps you bridge the gap. So you're like, okay, I'm being treated like trash. I'm leaving. Because there's a difference between knowing and actually doing. It's not enough to just say you know who you are and you know your worth, or whatever affirmation that you say and put on your fridge or your mirror. It's actually looking at your choices and changing your behavior if you don't like what you see. So, what are your past behaviors with men showing you about you? Pausing for dramatic effect. And if you don't like it, the only way to change your behavior is to transform your mind, the way you think about being single. So you can sing the Drake song at the top of your lungs at the next Drake concert. Know yourself, know your worth, all you want to. But you do not know your worth if over here you are letting this man treat you like yesterday's garbage. And now you got flies all over your face. You don't know your worth, sweetheart. You don't. And for my faith based women, especially my Black women, forgiveness does not mean stay. This is your reminder. Giving grace to somebody does not mean stay. Love does not mean stay. You can love somebody all you want from a distance. I just really want to know where you got the idea that suffering for love is what God wants for you. So, the vehicle that is going to take you from being treated like crap and being frustrated in these relationships to being a woman who is confident in her singleness and not feeling like a failure because you're single, the vehicle to take you from here to here is your mindset, then your behavior. Change your mind, you'll change your behavior. And that is all I got. I have completed 5 days of the cliches that are holding us back in dating. I'm so freaking proud of myself. Yeah, these 5, if you have not seen the last 4, you can go back into the video archives here on Instagram. They are obviously on my feed, on Facebook, on my feed as well. And then also on my podcast. Single You, the podcast, is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. So if you want to take it with you as you go, the podcast is available. If you want to hear the last 4 that I did, the videos will probably be taken down on Instagram TV and Facebook TV next week. So you're going to have to go to the podcast to listen, to share. Okay. And if you took away anything from this video or you want me to go deeper, please send me a DM and let's start a conversation, especially on how to get for you to transform your mind to change your behavior, right? If you have any questions for me, DM me, but I have 2 for you. I've left you with 2 questions after every live. Number 1, why do you think that you bypass red flags? I want you to think about that. Pausing for dramatic effects, letting the neurons fire in your brain. Why do you think that you bypass red flags? Journal it out. And I want to hear from you. Again, DM me. My DM is always open to you. Do not hesitate. I will not be like, why are you DMing me? This is weird. Okay. And question number 2, why do you feel like you should bypass red flags? Why do you feel like you should bypass red flags? Because if we're honest, that's what you're doing. Bypassing red flags, shading them with potential. Yeah, Violet, Captain Sava. Yep, exactly. And this is no judgment to anybody. I was doing this until 2017. And when I went on my true self-love journey, that has a lot more to do with getting massages every month and going to brunch with my girlfriends. Because how well is that working out for you? Okay, I'm done. Closing out day 5. Have a great weekend. My DM is always open to you. I am here to serve you. Okay. And I would love to know your takeaways. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.